What's up? It's Hallie. Welcome back to Aidyn Plus. So, I'm recording this ever so slightly earlier than I normally would. And by ever so slightly, I mean probably a good week in advance. See, this is, at the time of recording, it is the Sunday after Thanksgiving in 2020. And I've been using this 4-day weekend to polish off some things that I've just been tired of lingering around. And I eventually got to the point where this was next on the chopping block. So even though the LP will be continuing for some time, because it's still just going to be uploaded one video a day until it's over with, the next few uploads are going to be coming in, or well, they're going to be recorded right now because I intend to finish this series in this set. Might take a break in between so the recording isn't too long and I don't like jeopardize the footage or anything. I haven't really had any troubles with OBS losing footage or anything, but I've heard horror stories and from others, and I don't want to repeat them myself. So yeah, whether I get it done in this recording or the next one, it's going to get done in this session because I'm going to do them back to back. It's time, Aidyn Plus. It's time we saw you through. I can't hurt these guys with Lure of Death. We're close enough to the end of the game that I feel like I can blitz this without too much trouble. Although we do have quite a bit of fighting to get done. We're heading down into Maxxen here, where there's a bunch of undeads and a little bit of story lore. Oh boy. Once we're done in there, we're going to head off to the southern desert and start sweeping up the last of the game's open world encounters. Although I don't know if it's really accurate to say that, since obviously there are encounters that respawn, so you can never truly be rid of them. And there are also some encounters that only appear after you've done certain plot events. And there's at least one I know of that I think I'm just going to be playing a little skipping. Out on the road to Port Said, for whatever reason. I don't even know at what point of the game he appears, but there's a Chaos Warrior pack that appears at, like, the crossroads near the edge of the farmland. And it's like, it's not even, like, a difficult fight, it's just a pack of Chaos Warriors, as far as I recall. Nothing, I don't think they have any special Chaos monsters with them. So it's like, why? Why'd they even bother? But yeah, we're not going to be dealing with them. Although there is some fun stuff I want to cover in the Goblin Stronghold before we wrap things up completely. But yeah, gonna be a whole lot of fighting a lot of monsters we've already seen. There are very few things in this game we haven't seen left, so it's kind of just a formality. And I don't even have, like, new development updates to talk about for the rest of the mod either, so, like, how am I gonna fill all this dead air? I guess I could just take Wrath's suggestion finally and cut the footage. But that would be an atrocity, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. You don't need to answer the question. Besides, don't you want to see how long of a list the playlist is going to be? My original estimate was that it would be about 150 episodes, and, well, technically I'm recording the 150th right now, because the last set ended on 149. Whoa, look at all this fancy stuff we got from these guys. All those wands and things, those are super rare. Anyway, here's Maxxen. Let's head on in. Pick the lock. I was going to comment on the ambiance, but this guy bum rushed me. I'll comment on the ambiance once we've heard more of the ambiance, because this place has what the Barrow Mound needs in terms of, like, sound design, I think. It could really use some creepy atmosphere. Honestly, it could have even used the same track. Hey, that's something I can talk about. The OST for this game. So, a while back, I don't remember exactly how long it's been, but it's been a while, I had gotten, like, a decompiled version of this ROM, and among them were the audio files for the music, and I was able to use those to compile the OST that is currently hosted for download on KH Insider and linked through the subreddit. But funny thing about the OST, there are a bunch of songs in it that don't appear in the game. There were 12 of them listed that I found, and one of them that's super short and seems like it was used for a cutscene that just doesn't happen, or whatever. Not really certain what's up with that. But here's the thing. This game has a different soundtrack if you do not have an expansion pack in your N64. The emulator has the expansion pack activated by default, and I don't know if there's a way to turn that off, so I don't think I can actually ever play the game on a computer and show you what the alternate music is like. But recently someone commented on the subreddit saying, hey, my version is different music, and I was like, oh, you're probably just playing an N64 without an expansion pack. And I asked them to give those songs a listen and tell me if any of them were songs they were hearing. And we were able to identify that 4 of the unused songs are battle songs that only appear if you play the unexpanded version. And I asked them to keep their ears open and see if they notice any of those other tracks as they're going along. Now, what bearing that has for us here in the modding community, air quotes around that one, is if we ever get the opportunity to adjust music and placement and things, we might be able to put some of those unused tracks to use in the real game. Because there are plenty of parts of Aidyn that have just total silence or natural ambience, and in a way that's nice, especially in the forests and things. One of the things I've always admired about this game is that when you're walking along and everything's quiet, and then suddenly you start hearing footsteps, and you're like, oh god, where are they coming from? Heck, it's happened a few times in this playthrough where I've just been searching around with the camera looking for a sound that I think I'm hearing. And that's nifty. But it's not like the music needs to be super obtrusive either. So there are quite a few places that are totally silent that could actually use music. And we've got all these unused tracks that we could apply to them if we were able. So that's something I would hopefully like to do someday. Add music to places that don't have them. And as it so happens, what brought this subject on in the first place, there's a track among them that's kind of creepy and dark that would totally fit the barrow. So if I ever am able to assign it there, I totally will. And it's not the song we'll be hearing in Maxxen once we get done with these stupid plague zombies. I wonder what the odds of them just running away right now are. I scared them all with Aura of Wrath, that's for sure. I'm just kind of hitting them and hoping they die quicker. And I guess they technically are dying quicker. That one's gone, thank goodness. No, don't attack Cholet. You're supposed to run off. That one's not running away either. Only this giant skeleton feels like leaving. That's okay. We can kill them much more quickly now that they aren't 75% resistant to physicals, I think it was. They used to be so stupidly resistant. Did another guy just show up? They did. Get out. Go away. I see you over there, now run. Yeah, look at this chump. How am I gonna get this all done in the next 5 or so hours? That's kind of my time limit, because after this, I need to hop on Discord for the next session of Dragon Quest Aidyn with Chris, Klug, and friends. Yes, we've been playing a tabletop session, and we adapted the game to the tabletop setting. Kinda, sorta. There's a lot of things in this version that Chris is directing that aren't in the game, but that's fine. I feel like it's fun to have new things as well as old references you can recognize and stuff. He's been grilling me on some of my videos for details about things. You should really play the game sometime, Chris. I mean, you guys made it. I know it's been 20 years since you made it, but you had your hand in it. Aren't you at least a little curious to see how it all went down? Play the original, don't play the mod. Play the original so you can see how badly I changed and ruined everything. Goodbye, regular zombie. Oh, we can finally move on. But yeah, if I'm not done recording by then, I'm kind of gonna need to stop for, like, dinner and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. More stamina for you, dear. Yeah, all that stamina. Oh, no more stamina. Man, we got a ton of stuff. There's the skull key! The skull key is a key item that isn't a key item. It's included in the database, but I don't think it unlocks anything necessarily. Oh, there's a moderately dangerous trap. Oh no. So, in Maxxen, you're supposed to go through this door, but you need Loden's key. That's what Fursel was talking about before. But you can go to either side. It's just a big loop around... What? Oh. Oh, I was facing the wrong door. There's also one time I actually got through that door without the key, and I don't know what weird glitchiness happened there, but it can be done. Don't ask me how. I'd tell you if I knew. Oh, hi, Wraith. He hit the edge of his wandering box. Thank God it's only one Wraith. Sorry, I'm getting, like, off my topic. The skull key, yeah. It seems like it would have been an item in Shamsuk's tower somewhere, considering there are a bunch of other keys named after body parts and stuff there. But it doesn't appear in the original game. No idea if it actually unlocks anything. And I was like, well, fine. I'll just put it on a skeleton drop chart as something you can sell. But in my recent shenanigans where I was rearranging drops of what everywhere, I decided that the skull key was more fitting to be dropped off of whites, since whites are significantly rarer than skeletons, and therefore that would make the key rarer too. Still, it's just something you sell. So it's not like it's that big of a deal. But, I don't know, it's just weird, that's all. That's a lot of skeletons. 10 skeletons in this fight. As I was compiling the data from the original game into a spreadsheet, I was blown away by just how low level these things really are. Like, I'm pretty sure the highest a regular skeleton goes is like 13, and the big ones are maybe 15. The original game is quite merciful, honestly. I wonder if the giant one's the leader. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, it wasn't that guy, that's for sure. Could it be you? Are you the leader since you didn't chicken out and run? I'll hit you just in case. Don't cast Wall of Bones. Multiples are not running now. Hum. Let's squash this guy with a big ol' hammer. And he's gonna cheat death. Okay, get the big ones running. Guess he wasn't the leader after all. Just because they're big doesn't mean they're in charge. Are these... These are both skeleton warriors, but they're different sizes. Aren't they? No, one is a regular skeleton, one is a skeleton warrior. The skeleton warrior is the Estela, and the regular one is just a normal skelly. That's crazy! I didn't know there were any battles where these two appeared alongside each other. I actually thought they were the same size before, so I guess skeleton warriors are technically an upgrade to regular skeletons. Of course, they both start showing up around the same time, so it's kind of pointless. And not something I can currently correct. I wonder how these stack up to skeleton archers. They look like they're about the same size as archers. At least, now that I'm seeing them in perspective next to a regular skeleton. The skeleton is running away. Eh. Come back. Oh wait, why am I asking it to come back? I don't want it to come back. I definitely want it to leave. I want to kill this guy. Donovan, you're useless. Can you finish it off, Chalet? Thank you. Can we get that other one to run before the reinforcements arrive? Yes, good. Okay, now they'll all show up at once. Perfect. We can scare them away. Or attempt to. Yeah, skeleton warriors. And one more regular skeleton. They're so little! It's adorable. I wonder if there are any fights with them and archers next to each other. I feel like they're the same size. We'll probably see more skeleton archers before we're done with this, so I'll do a height comparison. It's like, see, Alaron is like a head taller than a regular skeleton, or a skeleton warrior, but his shoulders go higher than a normal skeleton. Why is this important? It's not. I'm interested in dumb things. What do you expect? Good, that one's running. What about these guys we've all tied up? Ah, that one's fighting back. That one ran. Anyone else? You two. So these two think they've got game, do they? Well, they don't. Yeah, take that. 63 damage to your face. Man, this would almost be a cool loadout if these enemies weren't totally irrelevant by now. Because since you have both types of skeletons in the same place, that means they get the benefits of Spirit Shield and Wall of Bones. But it doesn't matter because they're garbage! We're finding a lot of items. Like, a lot of items. I know there were a lot of skeletons there. Hello, Mr. White. Oh, the white is in the reinforcements. Okay, that's peculiar. Atypical party structure, but fine. Let's cast... let's cast light. Yeah. It's kind of nice having two characters with Aura of Wrath around, but Brenna's is still stronger than Cholet's, so I should probably level up Cholet's. Alaron's the only one who can scare soldiers, but we aren't really seeing too many. There will be more later once we get back into the desert. Most of the things that live in the desert are solar. And all the lunar things are just undead. Which I think is racist against undead. Who says that all undead were born at night? That's just dumb. People need to wake up and be more culturally sensitive to the undead that were born during the day. Oh my god, can you guys just die? Again. Just be gone. Go away. Yeah, that zombie's going. Anyone else? Anyone else? Oh, the white has arrived. I probably shouldn't waste all my turns. Donovan, get over there. Get over there and fight the white. That is one nice thing about teleport. It can get you out of combat situations with basically anything. About the only time in combat that the teleportation spell doesn't work is if you're fighting the spirit. If you try to use teleportation to get closer to it, the spell will fail. Did you know that? I bet you didn't. That zombie's dead. Lol, the white fled. He's like, screw this, I'm out of here. Some crazy man in turquoise just teleported near me and freaked me out. And if these guys are smart, they will run too. See, this is kind of the problem with atypical party structure battles, because the leader is always one of the first 4 enemies in the fray. So, if the original 4 are dead, then no matter who is the leader, you can be sure that they are gone, and that the reinforcements will always receive the penalties to their morale.